Hello, I'm Tony Horgan. In this video, I'm going to take a look at an old Amiga music demo that I made in November 1991. I've just found this and I played it once about a week ago, but this is really the first time I've played it properly. So I'm going to play it, and then for the first time in however many years it is since 1991, I'm going to have a look through the module file and see how I did it, and we'll have a look at the samples, and we'll see if it's any good or not. So this is a picture that I did for it. So it was a self-booting disc. I released it as a public domain thing, so it went through public domain libraries like 17-bit software and RBF software and things like that. So this is running on my Amiga 1200 here, although at the time the Amiga 1200 didn't exist, so I made this on an Amiga 500. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Come back to here. I'm going to come into OctaMED, because I made it in OctaMED. And there we go. I made it in OctaMED and I've just loaded it up now. So I'm going to play it for you, and then we will have a look at it. So here goes.
Is Gascoigne going to have a crack? He is, you know.
Well, I haven't heard that in a long time. So I made that one in 1991, November 1991, which you can tell by some of the samples that are in there, the era. So it's a bit of a mashup of pop dance kind of stuff at the time. So there's that Black Box Ride on Time riff, the piano riff, which I made by sort of chopping up the riff and then remaking it. There's also the most distinctive part of it is the Barry Davis commentary from the 1991 FA Cup semi-final, in which Paul Gascoigne scored a free kick from the edge of the box. And so I recorded that from... I recorded the FA Cup final on VHS at the time, and then I sampled that commentary. I'm just trying to find it for you here. I sampled that commentary from the TV. I held my Amiga or microphone to the TV speaker and sampled that. So if we come over to here,
is Gascoigne going to have a crack?
So I've got this sample here. Is Gascoigne going to have a crack? Meaning, is he going to have a shot? Is he going to have a crack at goal? And I've looped this bit here, which means that then I can play this, and then I can just fade this out so that crowd noise kind of carries on. It doesn't just stop. And also it means I don't have to have a really long sample. This sample is 27.5K.
Is Gascoigne going to have a crack?
And then I've got the rest of it. I've put them in all sorts of funny orders, so they're not actually in the right order. So here it says, this is how it says it.
Is Gascoigne going to have a crack? He is, you know. So those are the so that's the story there behind the football commentary. And then let's have a look at some of the other samples that I've got in here. So just as I said, I'm doing this on my Amiga 1200 now, but I originally made this on an Amiga 500, and it would have been quite small. Let's have a look. This is the contents of the disc. Hang on. Get you on the right camera. This is the contents of the disc that it was distributed on. I had a bit of text in there, a bit of README. I had a thing there to make it auto boot. And what else did... Oh, yeah. So anyway, the Footy mix, I was going to see how big it is. It's 209K. So, quite small. Let's have a look at some of these samples. Come back here. So some of it starts off like Well, is Gascoigne going to have a crack? He is, you know.
So it starts off with this bit, which is ripped off from You've Got the Love, I Need to See Me Through, the Aaron's Bootleg remix, which I had on a single. I had that one on a tape single. And I don't think any of that's actually sampled from it. I've just remade it, really. This one is called, this instrument that I'm using here to do the little arpeggio is called Tronic Stab, instrument 1. So I'm guessing that was from a Technotronic record, but I've just used it to play that arpeggio, and then I've used something else, hum bass, to play the bass line as a bass, and then it loops there, so then I can fade it out with volume commands. See, if you're using modern computers, or even if you were just using professional synthesizers of the day, they would have a thing called an envelope for each sound that you played. So when you played a bass note, for example, it would fade up and then fade down as you released the key. But the Amiga doesn't work like that. The Amiga samples would just play the sample. Do you want me to play the sample? Yes. Do you want me to stop playing the sample? Yes. Okay. So it goes, play the sample, stop. Okay, so, or I can play it indefinitely on a loop. So if you want it to fade out, you need to make your own kind of volume fade at the end. So that's what I was doing there. That's why on here, that's why it has this loop here. It's not because I want it to loop indefinitely. It's because I want it to be able to loop a bit longer until I decide here that I'm going to turn the volume down with this C2 command, or C command, C20, and then C0, which turns it off. So that's a little bit of uninteresting information. We'll have a quick look at the samples and then I will let you go. It's quite a nice kick. So this was quite early on for me, November 1991. So I'm not really using best practice all around. On this this hi-hat sample, I've really got two. So maybe I used it knowing that I had two hits on there, but normally I'll go in there and cut that. So I've just got this bit. What else have we got? A snare. Again, not best practice. There's quite a lot of bass in this sample here. But I wouldn't have known that because I did this on really rubbish TV speakers that didn't have any bass response at all. Kick and snare. That's got bass in it because there's a kick anyway. I should have known there was a bit of bass in there, but it was early days for me. I could have known by that big wave there. Aha, kick-off chant. So I can tell that I'm going to play this very low down here. As that sample has a very low sample rate because I'm playing it down here an octave lower than everything else. So if I played everything else on that note, it would be too low. Anyway, so what I did there, I can tell, is I ripped that sound out of the game. I can't quite remember how to do that. I used to use Audio Master and somehow freeze the game or reset the computer and then scan the memory, and then you could bring bits out of the memory and bring sound out of a game like that. If that one is out of Xenon 2 Mega Blast. That bass sound I think was from a track called Lift, and I can't quite remember who it was by. So I'm going to do a bit of sample spotting. So that was mine again. Tones Git, this one is called. So that's kind of, it's an electric guitar, just a little electric guitar stab. It sounds to me, it might be from Snap, I've Got the Power. Something like that. That's where I'm guessing I got that one from.
I think that was from a sample CD, that one. So I don't really know where it originally came from. Barry Davis again. Barry Davis. Another kick. I've got quite a few kick drums in this. There's another one. And then I've got these Ride on Time samples. So if I go into the song and I look for instruments J, K, L, M and N somewhere, then I should probably be able to find that bit where I've cut that loop up and then made it again. So I'm looking for numbers here. Oh, here we go. J, K. All right, so if I play this one, let's see. I just isolate. Sorry, I just dropped the camera, but it's all back to normal again. And I wonder why I have technical hitches. Anyway, so this channel here, I just isolated this channel here, and you can see that. So what it's doing is it's playing through these little bits. I can show you the samples there. The reason I've cut them up is so that I can change the tempo and get it to fit the tempo. Especially when you're using this speed type of tempo, it's not very fine, the adjustments. So if you were to just try to get all these things to match up in time, it would be very difficult, or you'd have to change the pitch of them and then they'd all be out of tune. So for example, I've got the bass line here as well. And I should be able to change the tempo up here to make it a bit faster, and it should kind of work. So that's why I've cut things up. Well, I'm not sure there's much more to say about this, but it was nice to have a little look at it. You can find it online somewhere, maybe at archive.org, maybe on AmiNet. I'm not sure exactly where I got it from, but have a look. It's called Funky Footy Megamix, if you want to find it, and my name, Tony Horgan. Okay, I will let you go now. You can follow me on Twitter at the Tony Horgan. You're probably watching this on my Tony Horgan Amiga YouTube channel. You might be watching it on my main Tony Horgan YouTube channel. So I have those two channels. There's one that's mainly Amiga, and there's one that's mainly other stuff, other music stuff, like, synthesizers and drum machines and that kind of thing. So, thanks for watching. If you want to get in touch, use the comments or however the internet is working these days to say hello. It would be nice to hear from you. Okay, bye-bye.